Good afternoon, parents and guardians. I hope this day finds you well. I want to take a moment to introduce myself. I'm Ryan Musak, be teaching your child American government this year. And we'll kind of take a few minutes to kind of explain what our American government class looks like, since our American government class is also the Stockport High School legislative semester. So here's some real quick background on legislative semester. Legislative semester is a simulation-based curriculum. This curriculum was started in the late 80s, early 90s by a man named Steve Arnold in West Chicago high schools in Chicago suburbs. He started the program as a more interactive way to teach American government. Steve currently resides in Madison. He's tried to expand the program. The program is also done at Middleton High School. Legislative semester was piloted here last year by Allison Turner, and now this year I'll be taking over that program. It's a really exciting program. Kids really seem to enjoy it so far, and we had a lot of success for it with this program so far at Sauk Prairie. What we'll be doing in our class here is looking at a few ideas. First off, looking at political identity. So the question is, what do people believe? What do the kids believe? What do they believe about themselves, about politics, and what are their views on politics? As part of that, we'll actually be declaring our party, students will be declaring their party allegiance. Are they Republican? Are they Democrat? Are they independent? From there, we're doing issue groups. So we'll be looking at issues that are important to the students. We're going to research those issues, and eventually then write a bill about those issues, trying to change legislation to fix one of the issues that they feel is really, really important. We'll be doing some election work in here as well, looking at student leadership for our legislative semester. Some students will be running for and getting elected for the position of speaker, floor leaders, party whip. They'll be elected to those positions. We also have mock committee meetings and full legislatures. Every student is going to be part of writing a bill. All those bills will go through a committee, and some will be passed on to our full legislature. Those days will be short in-school field trips here at the high school. I'll be taking half days for those, 1 half day for the committee meeting, 2 half days on different days for the mock legislature. Some of the teachers here do support, and I'll be sending home more information about that when it comes to that time. We'll spend some time within this activity working on the structure of government in preparation for the civics test that the kids got to pass for graduation. It's a good way to explain, looking at kind of three kind of areas here. So some of the activities we'll be doing within the legislative semester. The debates, we'll have a lot of debates early on prior to our party declaration. We'll have the elections, the issue groups, the bill writing, the committee, full legislature. On our later, after we do our full legislature, we'll be having judicial and executive challenges to the bills that our legislature passes. That's kind of the legislative semester portion of it, and that's how the students are actively participating in a mock form of our legislative government. Now, through this activities, the activities here, students are going to learn a lot of really valuable skills, including how to use outside research. They're going to use outside research to support their debates, support their opinions. We work on public speaking through speeches that they write and give. Starting off with a 60-second speech, going all the way to 3 to 5 minute speeches given in our full legislature. They work on argument writing, how to argue their case to make a change. We'll work on civil discourse, how to appropriately debate a topic without getting things personal. We'll also work on critical thinking, lobbying, all these really important skills that students will need as they go forward in our democracy. While we're learning the skills, we're also going to have the content within there as well. We'll be studying current issues, everything from gun control to immigration, you name it, we're going to talk about in here. Students will learn about parliamentary procedure, how Parley Pro works. Every day, each of our classes is run using parliamentary procedure. It's kind of fun to watch them get started here right now. We'll learn about the legislative process, how a bill becomes a law, the 3 branches of government, the Constitution, voting, how other influences impact government, how special influences impact government as well. And all that content is going to come through the activities that we do. Some supplies your kids are going to need. I sent this home with their syllabus today. There is no textbook for our class. So there's no textbook at all. They'll have a lot of handouts, those kind of things. So a 3-ring binder would be amazing, okay? Folder will work too. 3-ring binder is better, okay? Some paper or a notebook and writing utensil. We'll also use Schoology in class. Schoology is an LMS, or a learning management system. Just want to bring it up and show you guys real quick what it looks like. This is Schoology, and this is what one of our classes will look like here on Schoology. It has a Facebook kind of motif to it. I'll have a picture in there eventually. But each of our units of study has its own folder. All the activities for those activities will be in the folders. We even have our daily agendas for every day. So, for example, if a student does miss a day, They come here, check Schoology and the data, and check their agenda and see what they missed, what we studied, if they have homework to do. Those kind of things will be important to check there. And then all those assignments will be available right here on the agenda here, including going to political identity here. We'll have all of our upcoming assignments in here for that. So it's a good place to check for assignments for the students. Coming back here to our presentation here. Also, we'll have other things to check out as well here. Major assignments we'll be doing, including a party declaration paper. So when a student does declare their party, they're going to have to write a paper explaining how they feel certain issues and why they feel they belong to that party, or if why they feel they're liberal or conservative, and what kind of their influences are. They'll be doing both an individual and a group position paper on the issue that they chose to research and chose to argue about. So let's say they want to look at animal cruelty. They're writing a position paper, well, first individual and then as a big group on that topic. They'll then work together to write a bill and present that bill to the committee. For their committee prep, they'll be working on a speech to give to the committee, and that speech will then kind of be what they give as they introduce their bill and why this bill should be passed. Each student will write a short, full session speech, and we'll have a chance to write impromptu speeches as well, introducing bills. And last, we'll have a final exam as well. I'm doing exam here in quotation marks because it's more of a written project activity we'll spend a week or so on, the last week or so on, as kind of a culminating effort and reflection of the semester. Grading-wise, I run an 80-20 system for government. 80% is the assignments, with final exam grade being 20%. Looking at how things work out here, we're going to do major assignments are going to be a good chunk of the grade, 50 to 60%, with 20% each being daily work and participation. Got to change that, so I tried to change a little more to major assignments and a little less on the daily work and participation. Participation is going to be evaluated by both the instructor, myself, and the students on self-evaluation. Participation does include everything in class as well as online participation within Schoology and other activities. A few little things we'll have. If you want to get reminders from me, if you want to text this message here, which is actually going to be, I'm going to change it here real quick, will be at SPHSGov to 81010. So text this message to this number. You get a chance to sign up for Remind. It's a text service I'll use to help remind students when homework is, those kind of things. I also put a flyer of this in the email you'll find in there. Want to follow my Twitter? Go for it. It's at Mr. Moose_history. I'll be having a class Twitter account as well. Students will be able to tweet to using a special program here. They don't have to have Twitter at all, those kind of things. It's an option, not required to, but if they'd like to voice their opinion that way as well, they can use at SPHS Government. You follow that and take a look at it. My goal is to update Skyward weekly. Every Friday is my goal. If I'm not doing it enough, please call me out on it. I appreciate that, so I can make sure I take care of that. I'll also be using some flip material. This is an example of flip material here where I'm going to send out lectures this way for students to look at a week or so ahead before they're due so that students can look at some of the lectures at home, those kind of things as well. We'll do a little bit of that later on this year as well. Contact-wise for me, best way to get a hold of me is email. My email is on my smartphone, ryan.moosek@saukprairie.org. I try to respond right away if I can. If I don't get right back to you right away, it will for sure be within 24 hours or so. My classroom phone is on here. I'm here, pretty late to 4:30, 5 o'clock sometimes, but I can't promise I'll always be right by my classroom phone. And when I'm here, you can come talk to me if you need to check in the office, depending on meetings and those kind of things. Any questions or comments, please shoot my way. I appreciate that. And I do look forward to working with you and your students this semester. Thanks a lot. Any questions, please let me know.